Everyone, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation, also especially for Daria for organizing it mostly. I want to talk today about legal tech and the digital transformation of the legal industry, which is actually happening. A quick background, this is me and my father. My father founded our company LECARE, and the word LECARE is basically legal care, more than 30 years ago, and I took over the company 2 years ago when I was 23, so if you can count, I'm now 25. Still, not much longer. And yeah, I'm not a lawyer, I have a business background, and I wrote my master thesis about legal tech 3 years ago, which was a bit unusual if you're in the business space, and there could be anything you could write about. I studied my master's about innovation and entrepreneurship, but because our family business does legal tech since more than 30 years, it was quite interesting to see, okay, what roles do legal tech startups play in the digital transformation of the German legal industry. And at that time, almost 3 years ago, there was not much literature on that, and there were not many legal tech startups in Germany. I thought, however, once I did my research, there actually came up quite a few. And if anyone wants to read that thoroughly, you can also download it for free if you like. But I will give you a small overview of my main findings and what the whole legal tech thing is about. So yeah, it's legal tech. What is legal tech? In my definition, and there are so many definitions, so one can just pick one. Legal tech is basically only the use or the application of technology within the legal industry. And that is nothing new, because if you heard, if you listen carefully, we've been doing that since more than 30 years. So it's just a new buzzword, but basically has been around for quite a while. Why legal tech? Well, as in any other industry, even the legal industry is now prone to be not only disrupted, but first of all, digitally transformed. And what the drivers are within this industry that push this digital transformation, I would like to explain to you in a bit more detail with a focus on the German legal industry. So the German legal industry, as any other legal industry, is very specific. It's very different to other legal industries in many ways. However, what is common is that there's a traditional business model within the industry, which relies on information asymmetry between the lawyers and the clients. The client mostly does not have the knowledge about the legal issues at hand and is completely lost and relies on the lawyer for most of the information. Then there's an opacity in the value creation process, so the client mostly never really understands what happens in the value creation process. The lawyer just, provides an output, and on top of that, there's no clear, billing. It's just an hourly billing model. So the lawyer says, yeah, well, I spent 3 hours doing this and this, and the client doesn't really have a chance to know if that is correct or not, or if it was justified or not. So this is the business model that has been going on for a very long time. And why this has been the case is that there's a strong regulation in the market. So it's not only regulated who can actually practice law, so you have to be able to classify a qualified lawyer, and learn from law school, do certain state examinations, etc. But also the ownership of law firms is strictly regulated, well, especially in Germany. Within other countries that is slowly easing up, but in Germany at the moment it's still strictly regulated. So these kind of factors, especially the regulation, usually prevent a strong focus of disruption or digital transformation. However, slowly but slowly, something is changing in the market. And there are 3 drivers which I would like to explain to you. And the first is the so-called more for less challenge. And that basically means if you look at corporate legal departments or even clients, they demand more and more legal work, but are not willing to pay more and more for it, but they demand to pay less for it, especially the big corporations, which say, okay, we have so many legal issues we want to handle with a specific law firm, but the bill cannot just explode. It's not practical anymore. We need to push costs because companies in general have cost-saving programs, and legal is one area which this also applies to. So what is the result? There's a so-called efficiency strategy which you can apply to this challenge, which is to decompose legal services into little subunits and elements and try to source each of these elements in a more efficient way. And to do that, in the sourcing process, you can outsource certain things. So not only one law firm has to do everything anymore, but there are many players in the market in the value creation process which could take over single steps. And to do that, yeah, you can outsource or you can automate certain things, especially the very repetitive things. And this is one area where, of course, legal tech can come into place. But this is just one part. What is also interesting is what I've been saying, the regulation has been very strong. However, there's a slowing trend of liberalization in the market. So more and more forces encourage liberalization of the market to push and to encourage innovation, to reduce prices, so also to kind of attempt the more or less challenge, and also to promote competition so that new players can actually enter the market, which then again can encourage innovation and reduce prices. And overall, it may also provide a better access to justice to the end consumer like all of us, who don't necessarily have a legal background and understand all of those legal issues. And third of all, of course, the digitalization in general is a major force which pushes the digital transformation of the legal industry as well. The legal industry cannot say, we're so special with the legal industry. It does not involve us. It's no longer possible because digitization has come into our everyday life and also has arrived even in law firms. So there are disruptive innovations and startups which are beginning to look at the legal space. And a small overview of where this could happen, very simplified, and this is not extensive, is that obviously legal tech can play a role. In the middle we have the common lawyer, yeah? So it can be a law firm or a lawyer. It's between the lawyer and the client, between the law firm and corporations, but it's also in legal academia or the justice system. All stakeholders in this industry are kind of affected. And the question is, how quickly will they be affected? And also, how quickly will they adapt to this change? And that is a very tricky question, which there's not really an answer to yet. They will have to adapt to it, but it's not been going very fast. Here's a small overview, a very generalized overview of what kind of legal tech solutions exist. You have platform models, which are self-service platforms. I'm sure many of you will know Flightride or Gebitz.de, where you can easily enter your information about a delayed flight, etc. And they provide you a reimbursement quite directly. So it's like lowering the barrier of getting access to justice, because usually you would have never gone to a lawyer for like a 2-hour delay of your airline flight. So that's a new market that has been created by these kind of platforms. Then there are marketplaces, where you can book a lawyer and book legal services. There are databases where you can get your legal content, which is for lawyers. I mean, moving away from books, it's a big thing, So, yeah. Well, anyway, there are also more sophisticated tools, high-tech tools. There are many kinds of tools which support the legal work. Our company provides one of these tools. I'll explain a bit in a minute. But there are also specific applications in the blockchain and AI area. However, they are very, very early stage. So there's none I would say, okay, wow, this has really proven the market and it's really successful. They're very early stage, but there are many aspirations to go into that direction. One very well known is actually from IBM. They're using their IBM Watson supercomputer to train him for like a virtual intelligent lawyer. And it's been going well, however, it's not that far yet. It won't replace any lawyer that soon, but it might, so keep watching. Here's just an overview of how many legal tech startups actually do exist, and this is already outdated. So there are a lot of players who are looking into the space and saying, okay, what can we do here? Is there something we can change? The motivation is big, however, the actual change is very slow because of the tough regulation and because traditional law firms don't want to change their business model because they're doing just very fine, making a lot of money. And yeah, if you want to read more about what these implications are, this is a summary of my master thesis, so you don't have to read the whole academic paper. And before I finish, I just wanted to quickly tell you a bit about our company. So we've been in the market for 30 years. My father founded the company in the 80s. He's not a lawyer either, but he thought, wow, lawyers are they could do with a bit more, efficiency and digital support. So basically, what does our company do? Well, this is the traditional business day of a lawyer, and my father thought, well, why don't we digitalize it into an electronic matter file, is how you would say in English. So our software basically is, these are our customers, but basically has the core, which is the matter management. And you really have to think about, as a lawyer, you have your paper files, and this is transformed into digital. So you can document all your documents, all the data, all the persons related to the file, etc., everything that is relevant. But you can also manage all the deadlines, which are very important also for contract. You can manage all your contracts, IP management. Yeah, you can do a lot of things. And at the side, we also have two other tools for compliance and for data protection, which is like a product extension, because we see within companies, and now I'm back, we only have mostly companies as our clients, and within that you have the legal department, but you also have the compliance and the data protection department, which also work very closely with each other. So we extended our product portfolio in that way. This is just an overview. This is how a digital matter file looks like. It's not that fancy, but it includes everything a lawyer needs in a digital space, and there are obviously many more modules you can use, and you can extend it. However, at the core, which is in the Vita and documents, is your document management system, and that's the most essential part because it represents basically the life of each matter, and then you can connect different matters with each other, collaborate, and it's just great. And one of our customers is Lufthansa, which is actually really happy with our software, and they use it globally. So in all their legal departments, they've been using it, and for companies like that, it's actually very nice to have an old player in the market and not necessarily a new startup. I think they like both, but the sense of having been there for a while, having a lot of other customers for them is very important, and also in terms of stability and reliability, our customers appreciate that quite well. Just quickly, what else can you do in the legal tech space? It's still very small, the industry, but there are also hackathons that take place twice a year. Actually, today and yesterday, there's one taking place in Berlin, and this weekend there will be a global hackathon worldwide in different cities. So there are people trying to disrupt the market. Then in Hamburg, if you're interested, we founded the Legal Hackers chapter, which is a global organization. And this woman down there, she's actually from Portugal, and we met at the Web Summit, which was amazing. And this is the Woman of Legal Tech initiative, and that's 26 amazing women who participate in the legal tech space in any way possible. They're either from academia or are in law firms or do tech. It's super cool, and we've been trying to collaborate very intensively after this initiative. And I think there will a lot of good things will come from it, especially of bonding among women in tech, or especially legal tech. I think that is very exciting. And that would be all already. Thank you so much. I'm open for any questions.